There's this great tradition in Washington, and we saw it again this morning, of the presidential pardon of a turkey. Jake Tapper, our senior White House correspondent, interviewed the turkey himself. His name is Apple. Take a look.
We went to the W Hotel in Washington, D.C. to meet this year's pardonee.
Hey, buddy. How are you? Guess what? You're going to have a much better week than a lot of your friends. You picked this animal, this bird, because he's the most beautiful?
Most beautiful, the white plumage, and the nice tail feather on him, and also he was a little more well-behaved than the rest of the flock.
And what do you look for when you're looking for the best-looking turkey?
You're looking for the nice white plumage.
Because to be honest, they're kind of, I mean, their faces are kind of repulsive.
Really? I think it's a good-looking turkey. He's pretty handsome there. See?
You like that? Okay.
Yeah.
And Apple got the formal reprieve today. This is President Obama with said turkey, with his family, getting the official presidential pardon, living out his days now at Mount Vernon, and also had some interesting comments, putting some political context in all this.
There is one official duty I am sworn to uphold as the leader of the most powerful nation on earth. Today I have the awesome responsibility of granting a presidential pardon to a pair of turkeys. Now, for the record, let me say that it feels pretty good to stop at least one shellacking this November.
Shellacking, you get it?
The girls didn't get it.
Probably not.
They just wanted to pet the turkey. Same with me. I just wanted to. All right, joining us now, Hans Nichols, the White House correspondent for Bloomberg. Of course, thank you for coming over. We got a lot on the docket next week. I know everybody right now is focused on stuffing themselves, but next week we got, as we talked about, Don't Ask, Don't Tell. We have on Tuesday, the bipartisan meeting at the White House. And we, of course, have the Deficit Commission. So let's talk about the 30th.
Well, in the mix of all this is that we have a potential staff shakeup. So the White House has to have these negotiations with congressional leaders, with Boehner, who obviously, Speaker in waiting, feels empowered. And he's going to be doing it not quite certain who everyone on his team will be. And don't think for a second that Boehner and McConnell will try to exploit that and exploit divisions within the White House on the spending, taxes, the whole gamut.
Let's talk about taxes for a second, because I have a hard time still seeing a way out. We talked to Chris Van Hollen just yesterday on this. He said the Democrats are going to pass something that does not include the tax cuts for $250,000 plus. Democrats still have the votes here. They still control the House. The White House has heavily signaled that it's looking to compromise. How do they find a way out of this?
Well, in one of those closed-door meetings last week when the Senate was still in session, you heard Chuck Schumer talk about maybe raising the definition of the middle class to $1 million. That's going to cause a lot of problems, not just for the Democratic caucus, but for Democratic politics all across the country. They don't want to have this definition of the middle class be $1 million. That's one safety valve. That's one release valve. Otherwise, they cave, in which case their donors are going to be very upset. A lot of those donors that are in that upper income tax bracket, but believe that they should be paying higher taxes. We heard from Warren Buffett over the weekend. There are no good options for the White House, no easy way out.
Because the bottom line is the president doesn't have the votes in the Senate, even the lame duck Senate, right? You've got the Lieberman or maybe Chris Coons and Nelson, et cetera, already saying they would not support not extending for the upper tax.
They've tipped their hands. This is, again, where Senator Baucus will be crucially important. The last time the White House negotiated exclusively with Senator Baucus, I think you'd find very few people inside the White House that thought that was a great deal and that was really the proper way to go to get health care passed. But Baucus is going to be controlling a lot of votes here.
That's exactly right. And there's a fair amount that still has to get done in the lame duck. What's your sense of the White House mood these days and the way that they've processed these setbacks? We heard the president again refer to the shellacking. Is it a recalibration? Is there a different kind of energy right now?
The mood is exhaustion after these foreign trips and then just yes, on Tuesday he goes to Kokomo. Right. I don't quite think they have what their game plan is going to be for both the lame duck and then after January, which is very busy, right? I mean you have to do the State of the Union. You have a state visit with Hu Jintao. So once again, China in the front, which is, of course, has economic implications all across for the jobs front domestically. So I don't get a real sense the White House has developed a clear game plan going forward for the lame duck or post-January.
And staff shakeups, quickly, what would those be?
What we know is they need a new NEC director. That's all we know for certain. We know at a certain point Jim Messina will probably leave the White House to run the campaign. That opens up 2 deputy slots. The larger question is how are all these big personalities going to mesh? Because no matter what anyone says when you're in front of the president, you stop litigating, but you usually litigate outside. And there's some strong personalities that are in the mix that have strong views on where they want to take the country and where they want to take this presidency.
And oh, by the way, Plough in, Axelrod out, 2012 right upon us. Hans Nichols from Bloomberg News, thanks for being here.
Thanks,
Appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving to you, too.
Yes.
This is our last program until after the holidays, so enjoy it. In the meantime, you can keep up with us at Twitter, twitter.com/Rick Klein, twitter.com/Amy E. Walter, and stay off that road in Delaware. That's bad news.